What's up, buddy, man? It's the Bronco at the Fro coming at you with another reaction video. That boy Ball Culture came with that heat today. Go like up the original video. Go subscribe to that, man. Get him to 35,000 subscribers. I ain't did a video in this format in a minute, huh? You already know. Streamer Bronco in the building. If you miss any of the streams, go ahead and subscribe to the Bronco Live channel. That's where all my Twitch VODs and clips will be posted at. We have a video today. Every football era explained in just 5 minutes. I always hear about the 80s, the 90s, the 1000s, the 70s, sometimes the Pele era. But this man, Ball Culture, took it even further back. That man say the ancient times, the Middle Ages. Them boys were playing football in the Middle Ages. Did they have bigger things to worry about? I know, hey, them medieval times. Them boys was on some different shit. I ain't know them boys had time to play football. He got the Renaissance era, the association era. That's where the word soccer come from. I'm pretty sure this is like more so. Oh no, this is the modern era. He starts the modern era with Pele. So association era is the era before Pele. I don't think I can name a player from that era, but I do know that was towards the advent of the World Cup of the United States of America in the 1930s. Ended up finishing third place, top 3. You already know the deal. We got the modern era, and then we have the postmodern era. Damn. He low-key said that as if like the game fell off on shit. A lot of people have say football is gone. So let me find out the man Ball Coach say football is gone. God damn it. Hey, let's see what goes down.
The ancient era. Almost 3,000 years ago,
Damn.
The very first traces of what could be considered an ancestor to modern football sprung up in Mesoamerica.
Wow. So that whole actually in Latin America, or aka Mexico. Y'all always know, I always told y'all growing up, I thought football was invented by the Mexicans. I thought football was a Mexican sport. Just because where I was around, I live in Texas, all the Mexicans play soccer, everybody else play basketball, play football, and whatever. It wasn't until recently, like, when I started reacting that I found out that, what? You mean to tell me that Mexico is not a superpower? And you telling me the Mexicans didn't invent soccer? You telling me France plays soccer? You telling me England plays soccer? I said, what? And they better than Mexico? You wouldn't have found my betrayal, man. El Tree, y'all got to step y'all damn game up. Because apparently, the original, you know how they say football's coming home. They say English is the one who started football, per se. Maybe they talking about the modern version of the game. But Ball Culture say they whole really started a derivative in the ancient times. 800 BC, 476 AD. In Latin America, 1,000 years before the exploration era, man.
Ball sprung up in Mesoamerica. A ball game called Tlachtli.
I heard about this
like
in
the
school.
Maya, Aztecs, and Olmecs. The game was played on a narrow court, and players used their hips, knees, elbows, and shoulders to hit a solid rubber ball.
I heard
the goal
about
was often
this.
to keep the ball in play.
Matter of fact, not in school. I think it was like on Go Diego Go or something. Did they have an episode about this on Dora or Go Diego Go? I just remember seeing this as a kid for sure.
Some versions to pass it through a vertical stone hoop mounted on the court walls. Some versions of this game were ritualistic, and losing could sometimes lead to human sacrifice.
Of course, everything back in the day always ended in sacrifice or death. Hey, I am glad. That was just doing. I am so glad that I was born in this current day era of 2025 with no sacrifices and modern day medicine and modern day technology and all of that. Because god damn, you lose a match, now you're gonna imagine losing a World Cup and your punishment is death.
The spectacle, drawing large crowds, and even had a form of gambling associated with
they
it.
hit
A few
with
centuries
their
later in
hips.
China, Suju, a game much more similar to football, came to be. Dating back to the Han Dynasty in 200 BC, the game involved kicking a ball into a net without the use of hands. The ball was made of leather and stuffed with feathers, and the goal was to score points by getting the ball through a goal area.
Okay, now this definitely sounds more similar or looks more similar to soccer than the Aztec game, just because they was hitting it with their hip and they had to hit it up on that little goal that was up there on the wall. Now the Chinese, they have to kick it high too, but in terms of not using your hand and just using feet, the way I seen them kick ups, that seems more similar to modern day.
Played on a rectangular field, and teams could have varied numbers of players. The Middle Ages. While Suju was originally used for military training, during the Middle Ages, the game became professional, and female players were also recorded, making it one of the earliest co-ed sports.
Ooh.
Meanwhile in Europe, the leather ball had made its way to Britain through Rome. The Romans played a game called harpastum, pretty much just modern rugby with a round ball.
Okay.
An evolution of a similar game called a pisciros.
So let me find out. Hold on. Come here, bring it back, bring y'all ass here. Let me find out old rugby / American football came before the beloved foot. All this history I always talk about, and rugby was the one that came first. And you know NFL is a derivative of rugby. We solidified. We certified, boy. I like it down.
An evolution of a similar game called a pisciros, played by the ancient Greeks. As the leather ball came to Britain, the lawless game of medieval football began. The game involved two teams, often made up of entire villages.
Of course.
The objective was to move a ball from one point to another, often a goal at the opposite end of town. There was no standardized fields. Games could take place in streets, fields, or even across rivers.
Fun, though.
And there were very few rules. Kicking, carrying, tackling, and even wrestling were all allowed, with the game often lasting multiple days. It was played mostly on Shrove Tuesday and other feast days.
Hey, and sounds about right for the damn medieval times. Like I said, they were just doing shit. There was a whole bunch of barbarians.
The game also sprung up in Florence, Italy, by the name of Calcio Storico, the Renaissance.
They punching?
The rampage of these medieval games would cause damage to the town.
Oh yeah. So it's in y'all then. Yeah. All of the hooliganism and all of the recklessness and criminality. Yeah, that sounds like it's in y'all DNA, huh? It's been rooted in the footy world since the damn 1600s.
Was death to the participants, leading to its outlaw for several centuries. But the football-like games would return to the streets of London in the 17th century. For a long time, there was no clear distinction between football and rugby. There were also many variations concerning the size of the ball, the number of players, and the length of the match. The game was often played in schools, and two of the predominant schools were Rugby and Eton. At Rugby, the rule included the possibility to take up the ball with the hands, and at Eton, the ball was played exclusively with the feet.
Damn! So it's like they had the same parent, not necessarily, but they ended up branching off to they two different ways. The rugby, so the college is actually called Rugby. And hey, shout out Eden. Now I see why y'all say this is the birth of modern football. Eden ended up branching off into their own thing. Rugby say we're using our hands. Eden was like, oh no, we're going to use our feet. We have to keep our hands clean.
At Rugby, the rule included the possibility to take up the ball with the hands. And at Eton, the ball was played exclusively with the feet.
But why do rugby people look like the posh people and not Eden? I thought Eden would look like the posh people.
Giving us the first clear distinction of the codes. Then, in 1848, the Cambridge rules, developed at Cambridge University, played a crucial role in shaping the early football regulations.
Really?
These rules were drawn up by students who aimed to establish a unified set of guidelines for the game.
What they say?
These rules were drawn up by
Eden Rugby University, Shrewsbury. All these different people from different. So they just had a university called University.
Students who aimed to establish a unified set of guidelines for the game. The Association era. Finally, in 1863, the first Football Association of England was formed. The FA became the governing body for the sport, and the rules established by the FA, known as the laws of the game, served as
New York! Whoa. What New York doing right there? Cricket. Hold on, let me find out America is even associated with any of this. Way back in the day, where y'all boys always like to bring up history. I see New York right here. Come on now.
Rules established by the FA, known as the laws of the game, served as the basis for modern football and are still used today. The game would, however, continue to develop for a long time, and there was still a lot of flexibility concerning the rules. The number of players on the pitch could vary, uniforms weren't used, and heading the ball was not part of the game. In 1871, the first FA Cup took place. In 1880, Andrew Watson.
Look at that crowd for the first FA Cup. Them boys showed the hell out. Oh, where the hell is the exits? I don't even see the little doors or steps for some exits. How they get out of? What if you got to use the restroom?
The first FA Cup took place. In 1880, Andrew Watson became the first black footballer.
Hey.
And in 1888, the Football League was established. FIFA was established in 1904, and international competitions and exchanges between national teams.
This is such a big gap. Damn, I understand he did say in 5 minutes, so he got to skip over everything. But ball culture, I would definitely enjoy. I feel like Hood would definitely enjoy a long version of it. Well, I'm pretty sure. Well, I want to hear I love your videos so much. I want to hear you explain like a long video version of specifically the association era and the birth of football, man. That's interesting.
Began with the first ever World Cup taking place in 1930. as football quickly became known as the world game. Football grew and changed rapidly during this time period, as did the world, having gone through 2 world wars.
Yeah.
The modern era.
Now.
The end of World War II.
Okay, I see how they established the modern era. Yeah, after the end of World War II, now you got something different. So they say the modern era, he say the peak of football ended in 1990s, then that bitch went down.
Of the modern era of football. It began with the milestone construction of the Maracanã Stadium. In the year of 1950, the imposing stadium in Rio de Janeiro was ready for almost 200,000 people.
Damn,
no other sport had seen stadiums
200,000. We was looking at that on stream, like the world record for the most games attended, or the most people attended at a game. Usually stadiums peak out at 100,000, but 200,000. You got people sitting on a roof. You got this level, that level, this. Oh,
that
man.
capacity built to host its games. In 1955, the European Cup was created, a tournament where Europe's best clubs.
The father.
Today, it's called the Champions League and is regarded as football's premier club competition. The modern era had a significant shift both on and off the field, as the game started to become highly televised and much more commercialized. The first football superstars were born, with the likes of Pelé and George Best. This era would also give us a major shift in tactics. The concept of total football, pioneered by Rinus Michels and brought to life by Johan Cruyff in the 1970s, is one of the most transformative tactical innovations in football history. Total football's core philosophy revolved around fluidity and positional interchangeability, where every outfield player.
They say back in the day that hell used to be about utilizing space, so that means positions didn't really matter that much. Well, not like positions. Your position on the field mattered more than your exact role. Put it like that. So say right backs do this thing in modern day, like they play defense, they cross the fullbacks. You know, they can do offense and defense. Where back in the day, it was just about controlling this section of the pitch,
utilizing the space, interchangeability, where every outfield player had the technical skills and tactical awareness to occupy any position on the pitch. So players were no longer being told to just go out and play football. The postmodern era. As the rules of the game, like the offside rule and the back pass rule, had been finalized, and the game's speed had reached its peak, we entered the postmodern era. This is the age of the internet and VAR, where the way we consume and interact with the football world is vastly different. Players and tactics are much more optimized, and top-level football is much more similar to a chess match. We have seen the greatest teams and players of all time in this era, and our access to the game only increases by the day.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, and then he skipped past the head because he hit that 5 minutes quick. He skipped past the modern era quick.
And our access to the game.
Hey, interesting ass video, man, from Mr. Ball Culture. I actually enjoyed this greatly, man. We learned about the ancient era from all the way over there in Latin America to the Aztecs doing their thing, to the Middle Ages, the damn brutes and them the brutes and the medieval folk doing their thing. Then the Renaissance, where everything started coming to form. You start having your derivatives, like you had rugby and you had this and that at the different colleges, and then you had association. That's when they finally started branching off and establishing it real, giving it a solid base. Modern era, now you got professional leagues, you got stars, you got Pele, you got George Best, they putting in their work, you got the World Cup. Now you got postmodern, where the internet age, football is optimized now, as they say, and majority, it's all about making money now. Hey, every football era explained in 5 minutes. I wonder what the next era is gonna be after postmodern. Is it gonna be called postmodern? Because I know a lot of people always say that football has reached its peak and everything has a limit, and this is about as best as it's gonna get. But like I say, all it takes is one coach to revolutionize the game and change the way teams play. All it takes is one player to come around and revolutionize everything. All it takes is another Messi to come and change the game once again and raise that level once again. Hey, we gonna see what the future has in store. I'm out.